and welcome back to my YouTube channel where I chat to you about what I've been knitting and sewing each month. It's a lovely spring day here in the UK and I'm taking the opportunity to wear my Adelia top that I made from a pattern. It's by the Hemming and it's actually a dress pattern that I sewed into a top, so you can see the sort of length. But yeah, so it's a slightly sort of cropped length tee, and yeah, it's the perfect weather to start wearing some of my little tops that I made last year. So if you've been watching over the past year, you probably recognise this piece. But yeah, so that's what I'm wearing today, and I'll get on and I'll show you some of the other bits. I think I'll start with sewing because you might notice that I'm coming to you, it hasn't been that long since my last video, and one of the reasons that I'm filming today is because I sewed a little gift for my nephew and I wanted to show you all before I packaged it up and posted it off. So these are the drawstring leggings by Brindle and Twig, and I think it's drawstring leggings 22 is the pattern name, and I've sewn two little pairs in jersey, these little cute jogging bottoms. As you can see, I haven't done the drawstring. In the original pattern it has, you cut two holes and make a little drawstring, but I thought that was kind of unnecessary. You didn't need the little drawstring. And I actually was inspired to make these after watching Stitched in Sweden, and if you have any little ones to sew in your life, she's done a brilliant video recently. She has a little baby girl and she shared some of the patterns that she had knit and sewn over the sort of last year, and she did a great video sort of talking through what worked, what didn't work, what she'd do next time, sort of all those kind of things. And like, she had some advice. She'd made these little pants and she'd actually done a couple of the Brindle and Twig sort of jersey trouser patterns, and she sort of thought she'd do a like mashup of the two. So she thought these kind of larger waistbands were super comfy and really nice to sew, but she'd sort of said that she wouldn't have done the cuff. She would have sort of mashed it with another pattern which was more of a straight legging. But yeah, I kept the little cuffs because I like the sort of sporty look of these. I thought they looked really cute, and if you've watched some of my other videos you'll know that I've got some jogging bottoms in both these fabrics, so they're kind of like matching. They match my Hudson pants. So this is fabric that was left over from both my Hudson pants, and yeah, I thought it was really cute to sort of sew some little joggers for my nephew. And so those are going to go off in the post today. Today's Tuesday, which you probably know if you've been watching some of my other videos or if you subscribe to my mailing list, that Tuesday's the day that I'm shipping out all my orders at the moment. I've reduced my shipping to once a week, and that's the day we sort of go to the grocery store. And we're really lucky here in our supermarket, we actually have the post office inside the supermarket, so I sort of do one trip a week while we're in lockdown and I ship out any orders that you guys have placed. And thank you if you have been placing orders, because it means so much, especially at this time when it's really uncertain and it's quite a worrying time to have a small business. So every single one of those orders is really, really appreciated, and I'm happily packing those all up and they'll be going this afternoon. And yeah, and I'm going to pop these in a little jiffy and I'm going to send them to him so he's got something nice and cosy to wear. So that was one of the things that I've been sewing. I don't have any other sewing bits, so I'm going to move on almost to knitting. But before I get onto my actual knitting, I'm going to show you something that I crocheted, which is very different for me. And you might recognise this pattern because I've shown this, well, something similar to this before, and this is the Million Reasons bag by Will and the Gang, and I used the Rara Raffia in the Cinnamon Dust colourway. And yeah, the bag that I made before was the original pattern, and it's, I don't know if it's not exactly double the size of this, but it's, yeah, it's much bigger. It's more like a normal tote size, sort of like string bag, and I really like that. But one of the things is that when you put things in here, I don't know if I've got anything, I haven't got anything heavy that I could show you. Maybe this. If I popped like one of these inside, it sort of stretches out as soon as you start kind of putting things inside. So there you can, don't know if it shows too much on camera, but this doesn't stretch out as much as the big bag that I've got. So the one that I made originally to the normal size, I always found that it just seemed, it was the perfect size when it didn't have anything in it, but as soon as I put like my shopping and I was actually using it more as like a day bag in the summer. It looked really cute with like linen dresses and stuff, but this is like a smaller version of that. So what I did was, in the original pattern you cast on 26, I don't know if you say cast on, you chain, I think. I'm really new to crochet. I think the only other thing I've crocheted is the big version of this bag, and I've made a coaster. So that's the extent of my crochet. So I don't really know all the terms, but you do the chain is sort of 26 stitches long. So for this I started with 13, and then from then I pretty much stuck to the pattern, except for this section you should do 7 of these kind of larger, I think they were called treble crochet stitches, 7 of these larger holy section, and I only did 4. But I think for the other bits, so I increased the same amount of increases, and I did the same amount of section here. I think you did 5 for this, and the handles are the same length that I did for the larger bag as well. So I'll stand up so you can see kind of where it hits. So you can kind of see it's a really cute size for, I mean, I don't know where I'm going to wear this, because I was like, kind of looks like a cute summer bag. I'm not really, I mean, we're not going anywhere, and if I am going to the shops, this is probably not the kind of bag that I'm going to dress up and have my like cute beachy bag, but hopefully we will get out this summer. And it's, yeah, the perfect size for putting, I've already tested it, like putting my phone and my keys and my sunglasses, and then there's a little bit of extra room to pop like a shawl or something in there. But I'm really, really happy. I'm so pleased. And this was actually just using the leftover, because I had so much of the Rara Raffia. I bought the kit from Will and the Gang, and it comes with 2 of these cones, and I haven't got them to show you, because one of the bad things about these, the way they're wrapped, is they kind of come in this loop, but there's nothing in the middle of them. So now I just have like a nest of all this paper raffia. It literally looks like a nest, the stuff that's left over from it, because there's nothing, I've used so much of the sort of cone thing that it comes in that there's nothing to support the inside. So I think what I'm going to do next time I've got like an old toilet roll or a kitchen roll, I'm going to just wrap the last bit of it, because it is really handy to hold on to it, just so that if I ever want to do the straps again, I can. So if like anything breaks, I need to do a little bit of mending on it. But it is really strong, especially when you've crocheted it. It's, as I sort of said, it's like a paper, it's made of paper, so I don't know if you can kind of see the texture it creates. It's really unusual, and it's actually really comfortable to, it was really comfortable to crochet. I didn't have any problems with it hurting my hands or anything. It didn't break at all. As I say, I'm really, really new to crochet, so I looked up, they have some video tutorials to show you all the techniques, and it's the sort of thing that, because it's not like a garment or anything, even if I wasn't doing the techniques perfectly, as long as they were consistently imperfect through the whole thing, I don't think it matters too much. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased. That's one of the things that I actually did this over the Easter weekend, because I took some time off to have a bit of a break over Easter, and I wanted to do something totally different that wasn't sort of sewing. And I'll show you one of my knitting projects. I'd actually ripped out some of that, so I just wanted something a little bit different to work on. And I thought, right, this is the time I'm going to use up that leftover raffia that I have, and I'll make one of these, because this is, as soon as I'd made the bigger one and I realised it was kind of stretching out and it wasn't quite what I wanted, I knew that I wanted to do like a smaller version. And yeah, this is turned out exactly as I wanted. And also, I don't know if you can sort of see if I hold it, it stands up really nicely as a basket. So I could imagine doing something like half the size and having a basket. With the smaller base, it has, yeah, the ability, that's the bottom, it kind of, you can see it just stands up on its own, which is really, really nice, which the larger one doesn't do. And also, just something to note, if you do make this, I actually ironed mine when I finished, which doesn't change it an awful lot, but I just felt that it kind of made it a little bit neater, kind of flattened it out a little bit, gave it a little bit more shape on the front and the back. So yeah, that's something to do if you do want to do this project. So yeah, if you use the Rara Raffia, let me know, because I thought it was quite an interesting interesting sort of fabric, but I'm really pleased with that. And I could see myself doing like a much smaller, almost like a little like a crossbody, like a really small little bag that you could just put like phone and keys in, and I thought that would be really nice in this fabric. So yeah, so that's another crafty thing that I've been doing this month. And I'll move on to my knitting now. So I've got a couple of bits to show you of knitting. I've got the first things in one of my little Spring Bee sock sacks, and I've got my Woolly Mammoth. This is her natural sock base, which is lovely. Is that focusing? Yeah. You can see it's a really beautiful, soft, dusky pink. I think this is a one-of-a-kind colourway. It was called 00AK8, this one. But this is very much her colour palette. She does lots of really beautiful, like soft shades and lots of pinks. And I've been doing the Fairy Maiden socks. I don't think I've got too much more to show you. That's in one of the little needle cozies, so you can get these as a set in the shop. I'll put links to everything below, all the stuff that I've been chatting about. There'll be patterns and fabrics and all those kind of bits. If you want to look anything up, I'll put a link to the blog post below with the show notes. And if you actually want to get the show notes to your email, I also have a special email list just for that, for show notes, and you can sign up to that below. So every time I put a video up, you'll get an email straight to your inbox notifying that your video's gone up, and it will have all the show notes right there, so you can see everything I've been using. But yeah, as I said, I don't think I've got too much more to show you from last time, and I'm right in the middle of a, oh no, I'm not, I thought I was in the middle of a row. But yeah, these are the Fairy Maiden sock pattern by This Handmade Life, and you can see, maybe I should show it that way. You can see it's got a really nice little repeating stitch pattern that has sort of like a twisted stitch or a cable stitch, which I've been doing without a cable needle. It's just quite a simple pattern, and I can't remember, I think it might be free at the moment. I have a feeling that this was a free pattern. I've got a few of her designs. I really like Olivia's style, and yeah, I think it looks really nice in this sort of really woolly natural sock yarn from Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co. So I've been doing a little bit on those. But the main thing I've been knitting is my pheasant pullover, which I have shown you. Oh, let me put my other DPN in there. Yeah, these are so handy. If you use DPNs, these are great. It does work with the circulars as well. If you wanna, you can sort of put your circular needle through and then have the cable come out at the end. But yeah, it's perfect for DPNs if you don't want them poking through your bags and you don't want your stitches falling off. So I've got that in there, and yeah, as I say, I've been mainly working on my pheasant pullover, which I got really close. I finished the body, and when I tried it on, I wasn't happy with the length. I felt like it needed just a couple more inches. I had modified the length, I think. I can't remember how many inches it tells you to do in the pattern, but I'm quite petite. I'm only 5 foot, so I often adjust the length. But let me show you where it's coming to now. So I'm just about to start the ribbing. I ripped out, so there's like 200 and something stitches on the needles, and I'd done all the ribbing, so I ripped out 2 3/4 inches of ribbing and then I went and I sort of carried on doing the stockinette for another 2 inches, and now I'm at the point where I'm gonna then go back and do the ribbing again. But I think you can kind of see, so where it is, it's just hitting like the top of my jeans, so it will have another couple of inches, so it will be to sort of here when it's finished. But yeah, you can see the yoke. I've shown this a few times, and the yoke's just beautiful. I love the colours. These are the exact colours that the designer uses in the pattern. It's an Amy Christophers pattern, and I'm using the same colourways that she used. It's Jameson Smith yarn, which is their 2-ply jumper, which is a really light fingering, and it's a lovely woolly, really nice. I don't find it irritates my skin. I'll happily wear this with like a short sleeve t-shirt underneath, and yeah, it's just a really comfortable for a rustic yarn. I think it's yeah, it's quite good if you're new to using these kind of more woolly, natural, rustic yarns. It might be a good place to start, and also it's a really good price point as well. So you get them in these like little 25-gram balls. Actually, I can show you. don't think, I haven't got a full one, but this, oh yeah, I've got one on the sleeve as well. I wasn't sure on the sleeve length, so I've kept I haven't detached, although I've bound off, I haven't actually cut it, and I've kept the yarn ball up the sleeve. But you get these like little 25 sort of grams. You can see where I have had to wrap my wool around where I ripped out all those ribbing stitches. But yeah, you get these like cute little balls. So it's great for colour work because you don't have to have like 100-gram skein, and if you're only using a small section. But yeah, it's looking really nice in this light, and it's quite accurate, the colours. So I'm really eager to get this finished. I think so I'm going to do another couple of inches ribbing and then onto the sleeve. I feel like I'm going to be finishing this just as the weather is not going to be sort of the kind of weather you're going to want to wear something so woolly. In the UK, I definitely still wear my knits in the summer because we get cool days and the weather's quite changeable here. So it's not that I wouldn't wear my knitwear, but probably not something as woolly as this. I feel like this is kind of wool that's going to keep you toasty warm. But yeah, I still really want to get it finished and can't wait to have that off the needles. And I'm actually even thinking of doing another project in this yarn. Maybe I'll show you next time. I've got a really nice knitting book that has some patterns that calls for this. I'll show you the bands. So that's what the label looks like, Jameson Smith. And yeah, it says it is real Shetland wool, 100% made in the UK. So yeah, so I've been working away on that, and that's getting closer and closer to being finished. So yeah, I think that's all the projects I've got at the moment. The only thing I was going to chat to you quickly about was a new style of project bag that I've got in the shop this week, and it's I talked to you, didn't I, about Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co. I did some custom bags for her back in October when it was her shop anniversary, and you might have seen that I did the big sweater sacks that are these size. So these are some of the sweater sacks that are in my shop, and I did some with a custom design for her on one side with her logo, and on the other side it had this sort of botanical print. And I mentioned on Instagram that I had a little bit of this fabric left over, and was anybody interested in me doing these like drawstring size? And I heard a couple of people that said, yeah, they were really interested, and somebody actually contacted me and said that was I going to put these in the shop soon? So I used that as the opportunity and thought, yes, I need to get these in the shop, get them ready. So one of these is actually going off to her today. After this, I'm going to bag that up and get that shipped off to her. So I actually did a small batch, and I've got the rest available in the shop. If they do well, what I've done is obviously supplies. That's one thing that I'm struggling with the shop, is that it's getting harder to get certain supplies through. But what I've done is I've used the fabric that I had left over from Woolly Mammoth Fibre Co. to create a small batch of these, and then if they are popular and you guys like them and you want them to be something that's available in the shop more often, then I will print a whole batch. I'll print a set of fabric. So yeah, if you don't know that I actually design, some people are surprised when I mention this, that I actually do design all the prints that are used on my bags, and I screen print them onto organic cotton. So everything's organic cotton, the bases, the ties, even the thread that I use is organic cotton. So yeah, that's the two styles. So it comes with the blue base or the grey base, and yeah, it's just got a really nice like scattered botanical print on those. So yeah, so if that's something that you'd like, they'll be in the shop this weekend. And yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to chat to you about. It's just nice to have a little catch up with you. It's a strange time, isn't it? And I know lots of people are at home and they're watching these kind of videos. I had lots of new people. Thank you to everybody who commented on the last video. I think I asked where everybody was watching from and how you were doing, what you were working on while you were watching. And it was so nice to have all your replies. I really enjoyed reading all of them. So yeah, if you'd like to comment this time, let me know where you're watching and what you're working on. I'd love that, because it felt really nice to have that connection with you on the other side of the camera. So I feel like at this time without, my days haven't changed too much because obviously I work from home, so it hasn't sort of changed in the day-to-day fact. It's just obviously I can't leave the house, so I feel like I've been making the most of all those kind of like daily, sort of the mundane things. I've been trying to make those a little bit more special. I don't know if you found the same. It's sort of like before I might have just made a quick coffee and like sat at my laptop, and while I'm working I'd sort of be like drinking away and not really paying attention, whereas now I feel like I'm trying to make those little sort of moments in the day, make those a little bit more special. And like I've done a little bit of baking, so it's really nice if I do want to have like a coffee in the afternoon, I sort of take a proper break and have a nice bit of cake or a cookie or something and make a really nice coffee, and not just have it be like just having a tea while I'm working, that kind of thing. And I feel like maybe everybody's doing that, and just all the things that you, I suppose this is what all the mindful people have been talking about for a long time, just being a bit more mindful. And I've been sort of just taking more pleasure in nice things like having my fresh bed sheets and a nice clean pair of pyjamas and all those little things that you just, that used to be just like part of the chores, just like doing the bedding. But now I feel like you take a little bit more pleasure at the end of the day, getting in some nice pyjamas and having lovely clean bed sheets and all those little things, and just pottering about at home. One of the things that our library, I don't know if you have the same, our local library, we have an app, I think it's called RB Digital. I'll check that and I'll put that in the show notes. But one of the things they do is you can download loads of magazines. So that was something I downloaded, the Country Living magazine at the weekend, and usually I really sort of shy away from doing all those things digitally. I do so much work on the laptop and I'm on my phone all the time, and I really try and, so something like a magazine, I don't really want to look at that on an iPad. Like I like to have the ritual of sitting down with a cup of tea and actually reading a magazine, and that's something else that I do get from the library. So I don't know if you guys know this, but if you have a local library, they probably have magazines. So I have a library sort of within a 10-minute walk, so every month I tend to get a magazine from there, and I like the tactile nature of sort of physically flipping through something. And that's why I also use the library for books, because I do have a Kindle that I use for like travelling, or if I'm on the tube I'll maybe have something on the Kindle. But I like to have some things that I'm doing that are not on a screen, because I just do so much stuff. I'm sure we're all the same, we're on our screens all the time, so I really enjoy doing those things kind of offline. But as that's not an option, our library, that was one of the first things to close. I think before the UK went into lockdown, they closed gyms and libraries and playgrounds and stuff like that. So the library went quite quickly. So I have got a book on my Kindle. I've also downloaded an audio book. I'm listening to, how can I? Oh, The Handmaiden's Tale. I was thinking, how can I not remember this name, because I feel like it's such a popular book, and it's probably not a good book to be listened to right now because it's quite dark, but it was one of those things that I ordered months ago, and it just so happened that my audiobook, I was next in line, so I've got that at the moment. And yeah, and so I've downloaded a magazine on my iPad, and yeah, I'm sort of enjoying some of those little things. So I'd love to know what you are doing. Are you doing similar things to that? Are you kind of taking a little bit more pleasure and a little bit more joy, and slowing down with some of the things that you took for granted at home before? Even just something as simple as like having a shower. I feel like now it's sort of like a main event of the day. Before, where it's like you'd sort of get ready to go out somewhere, now it's like that might be one of the sort of nice things to do at the end of the day, and use some of my really nice products that I always don't, I sort of just take for granted. But yeah, it's nice to have those rituals. So I will leave you for today, and I hope you liked everything you saw. Give this video a like, and if you're new here, subscribe so that you see when I upload a video next. And yeah, I will leave all those links below so that you can see all the different yarns. I didn't tell you the colourways of the Jameson Smith because they're numbers and I can't remember them all. So if you really like that pheasant pullover, then you'll find all those colourways. And as I said, you can also sign up below if you want to get those show notes to your inbox. And yeah, you'll find my shop link below as well. So I think that's all the news and everything I've got to update you with. So I'll chat to you very soon, and I hope wherever you are, you're staying safe and you're staying well, and I will speak to you soon.